As Splashtop customers, I hope you've experienced that we've always been focused on continuously improving our products and providing you, our customers, with greater value. Our product improvements are heavily driven by your needs and market demands. Over the past couple of years, we've made significant strides in further strengthening our remote support capabilities, focusing primarily on the security as well as the efficiency for IT teams. In the next few minutes, let's take a deep dive into the most recent and impactful IT support features that we've built out within Splashtop Enterprise and look at how some of our customers are using it as well. With the accelerated digital transformation across all industries, including education, media and entertainment, manufacturing, healthcare, retail, and hospitality, really across the board, the way IT provides remote support has evolved. In 2022, last year, we conducted research in collaboration with Enterprise Strategy Group, ESG, to understand firsthand the recent challenges that IT teams were facing and how we, as a remote access and software solution provider, could help. We learned three big trends that have shaped the way IT, MSP, and help desk teams today support the increasing business demands. Firstly, the demand for skilled IT professionals has increased exponentially. And this is primarily due to the hybrid workplaces, use of BYOD, bring your own device at the workplace. Talent retention has also become a big challenge. According to our survey, 65% of IT help desk teams reported experiencing unsustainable levels of stress and burnout. So it's critical more now than ever to increase productivity and simplify operations for our IT teams. Secondly, organizations are now looking to consolidate their IT support solutions to create better efficiencies. As per the same research, 87% require new tools and processes to support a wide range of device types, operating systems, and networks because of the hybrid and flexible work requirements. And lastly, the growing number of cyber attacks are threatening businesses and putting a strain on IT, who are primarily responsible for maintaining high standards of security for their organization. The SOFO State of Ransomware report this year reveals that 66% of surveyed organizations were hit by ransomware last year in 2022, which is a staggering number. And in fact, the most affected industry was education. So, the recent advancements in Splashtop Enterprise aim to address these three challenges. With easy and faster remote connection flows, technician management and collaboration, background actions, fast and reliable remote sessions, Splashtop augmented reality, IT technicians can do more with less effort and support more end users without feeling stressed out. From a centralized console, IT can manage end user access to remote work computers. They can manage and monitor their endpoints, manage endpoint security, and also provide service desk support across all device types. They can also seamlessly integrate Splashtop into their existing systems for that single pane of glass. And finally, with single sign on integration, granular access permission control, scheduled access, Splashtop Connector, and more, you get the tools that you need to ensure security and privacy for your organization. Let's now take a quick look at some of our enterprise users and how it's helped them. First up is Beyond Digital Solutions. They needed to ensure excellent user experience across 7,000 digital signage screens that were spread across UK, Europe, Canada, and the US. They leveraged Splashtop Enterprise to minimize downtime, enable remote work, and provide on demand support to their clients while also maintaining a variety of digital signage software. They've actually now reduced on site visits and fixed 90% of their issues remotely, saving them a lot of time and money. Second is Pernicious Systems, who are the IT specialist for Peter Pan restaurants. They needed to support more than 1,000 endpoints that included mobile POS systems and office PCs at 46 separate locations. With Enterprise, they securely support all Peter Payne employees and devices from their centralized office remotely. So they've decreased travel time and costs, they've increased their efficiencies, and also improved their overall customer experience. They also use Splashtop AR, augmented reality, which I'll demo in just a bit, and they dramatically reduce device downtime by 50%, which is huge. Because of Splashtop Enterprise's high performance and remote work productivity features, media and entertainment companies like Warner Brothers New Zealand use Splashtop to enable remote work for editors, as well as provide remote support to them whenever and wherever they are, even if they're working on their own iPads or Chromebooks, etc. And finally, education institutions like Confederation College use Enterprise to enable remote lab access for students and also provide instant support to students and teachers no matter where they are, ensuring a smooth learning process. All right, with that, let's jump into the demo and see these features in action. Right, I'm now going to switch to my My.Splashtop console and let's start with the service desk demo. You can access the service desk from within the Splashtop business app here or through the My.Splashtop console here. So let's use this. On the left here, you see the technician groups or what we call channels on the left. And on the right here is the queue with the support sessions. Technicians can be organized and grouped to handle different channels. Let's go ahead and create one. So for example, I want all support requests that come from the graphics design department that exclusively uses Macs to be routed to this particular channel that's made of Mac experts. So like I said, all the requests from the graphics design department. You can customize the SOS app that the end users will see when they get support. You can set the expiry for the remote session here. Within the SOS, I'm going to enable SOS call for this channel, and I'll get to this in just a bit. You can also integrate the service desk with your ticketing system, so you can launch a remote session from within the incident or the ticket. All right, I'm going to proceed, and here I can assign a technician group or a specific technician to this channel. I'm just going to go ahead and assign myself. Here I can assign granular permissions to this technician or the technician group. I can either identify as a channel manager or can give granular control to creating a remote session, taking it, transferring it, setting up SOS call, and so on. I hit save, and now the channel should be created, and you can see it here within the service desk console. Now, the connection process in Enterprise is really fast and smooth. So the technician will start a remote session. I enter the customer name. Let's say something. And here now, the technician simply copies this link and sends it to the end user. There's no need for the end user to pass session code back like it is with the traditional SOS workflow. Alternatively, if let's say you're already on the phone with the end user, you can simply direct the end user to go to help123.app and you can pass them this 6-digit PIN code that they can enter on that website. So here, once I send the link to the end user, you notice that the status here says waiting at this point. Now, so as the end user, I go to this link and I download the support app. Now, when that is done, the technician will notification instantly when the end user has run the app. And you see here the status changes to active as well. Now, he or she can also see the additional device information here, such as the OS version an IP address even before connecting in. Now, at this point, also, a session transcript begins recording events with timestamps and allows the technician and end user to chat without actually remoting in. Through this, all the files that are transferred, all the remote sessions that take place, everything's recorded within the transcript until the session is closed. So once this is done, I click on Start Remote Session, and that prompts me to request the end user for permission to remote in and control and transfer files, etc. Okay, that will prompt the end user, which is also me, to grant or reject the permission to give the technician. So I'm going to say go ahead and say grant. Now within the technician queue, again, I get notified that the permission for remoting in has been granted. Also, the icon here changes with this little play button here, which says that I'm absolutely ready now to take control. The permission has been granted. And I can just click that and start a remote session. If the end user fails to follow the support link in time, the session expires to the time that we had set while creating the channel. If the troubleshooting session goes beyond the initial technician's expertise, the technician can easily transfer the session to another technician or technician group. He or she can also invite other technicians to collaborate on the support request. So streamlined routing of the support sessions and the ability to have multiple techs on a single support call really accelerates the resolution time. Once the issue is resolved, the technician can proceed to close the session. Another useful feature in the service desk is the SOS call. Users needing assistance can request for a support session via the SOS call application. If you remember when we created this channel, there was a checkbox to enable this feature for the channel. So click here to set it up and manage. I'm going to create a new SOS call app. Let's just keep it simple. I can assign a technician group again here. Go ahead and create. This link is now reusable and dedicated to a group of end users who will be supported by this channel. So it can be deployed on their desktops. Let me just do that. Okay, now as the end user, when I need help, I click on the SOS call app, which could be deployed on my desktop. And I can submit a request. I enter my name, the most common requests. And as soon as I run the app, again, the transcript starts recording, and I can also chat with the technician. Now, if I go back to the Mac Experts queue, I can see that there is a request, and if you also saw the notification that a request has come in through SOS call, um, I can then pick up the support request and remote in as well. So as you can imagine, with these service desk capabilities, IT support teams can really increase their efficiency, route requests appropriately, collaborate with each other, and deliver faster resolution and a much better support experience for the end user. All right, let's now take a look at our RMM features. Enterprise has a great set of endpoint monitoring and management features that allow you to remotely manage and monitor your computers without actually starting a remote control session, and helps you automate the routine IT tasks that are needed to make sure your endpoints are up to date. So under the management tab here, you have access to these endpoint management features. Within alert profiles, you can create and set up alerts to monitor CPU utilization, memory usage, disk space, get alerted if a computer is online or offline, software is installed or installed, Windows is updated, and so on. You also have the ability to execute these actions on multiple endpoints simultaneously. So you can execute system reboot, remote command, file transfer, and so on across multiple computers or computer groups at the same time. You can also schedule them to run at a later time, so it doesn't interrupt, a business day. You also have access to the endpoint security dashboard that shows the last scan time, threats, vulnerabilities, etc., that are identified on the computers. We also offer Splashtop AV that's powered by Bitdefender, which you can actually purchase, deploy right from within the console here. You can also create and manage custom policies within the My.Splashtop console as well. Um, we also recently launched background actions that allows you to access the task manager, service manager, registry editor, device manager um, at the computer without actually having to start a remote session. So you can actually troubleshoot in the background while the end user continues his or her business day and continues using the computer. Um, so this is a handy set of features that a lot of our customers really enjoy. All right, let's move on to Splashtop Connector. So it's a way you can access endpoints through RDP and VNC without actually using a VPN. So let's say you have computers where you cannot install a third-party app on, like the Splashtop streamer, or you don't have access to the internet. Or say you want to support multiple concurrent sessions through terminal services, or you want to give access to a specific application rather than providing access to the entire desktop. All of this you can do using the Splashtop connector. So to demonstrate this, I've installed the Splashtop connector on this machine, which is typically the machine that has access to all the computers that you would like to remote in via RDP or VNC. And this computer should also have access to the Splashtop cloud service. Okay, so let me remote into this one. All right, so this is the Splashtop connector app, and you add profiles for all the computers that you want to remote in through. You click the add button and you can choose RDP or VNC. When you create a profile, it will create computers on your Splashtop team. So let's pick this profile that I've already created to access Diana's laptop via the connector. The Splashtop deployment code you enter here determines the computer's default computer group and access permissions. You can choose between RDP and RDS for protocol options. And then you also have access to other settings like session recording and remote printing. You can enter the host computer's IP or host name to create a fixed computer profile, or you can configure to ask for IP and host name each time for ad hoc access. So once the profile is created, it creates computers in your business app list with the RDP icon, and I'll just jump to that. So right here, so I can access this via the business app or my computer list on the console. So Dinah's laptop, it's created an icon, shows that I can access via RDP. And now I can just connect in without having the Splashtop streamer deployed on that laptop. You'll also have access to features like file transfer, session recording, multi-monitor, remote printing, and text copy paste, and so on within the remote session. Okay, that was Splashtop Connector. Let's now take a look at another advanced remote support tool, which is Splashtop Augmented Reality. It enables users to share the camera of the mobile device that they are using with a remote IT technician in real time. So the technician can be virtually on site whenever needed. Now, to launch an AR session, you direct the end user to download the SOS AR app on their mobile device. And when the end user needs help, he or she simply launches the app and sends a 9-digit code to the technician. So I'm doing that on my phone right now. So when the end user does that, he or she has an option to share the ID via text message or email. And then the technician can enter the 9-digit code within the SOS app. So I'm doing that now, 37800. Right now, as the end user, it prompts me on my phone to give permission to the technician to remote in. And once I do that, the technician, oops, unmute to avoid feedback. So as you can see, as soon as the user gave me permission as a technician, I'm able to see. Now, so now you have access to two-way communication and annotation. So it's really easy to get your point across. And as you can see, the end user and technician both have different color codes, so it's easy to tell apart. I can undo or erase either all drawings or just mine or the end user's drawings. Um, I can pause the screen. In case the screen is shaking a lot, like my hand was just now, I can just pause it and annotate further. Once I do play again, those annotations are lost because the screen's probably the camera is facing somewhere else now. I can also turn on the flashlight if I need to see more clearly. I can also record the session and enter notes, which we can refer to after the session as well. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, pernicious systems, rather than sending their technicians to and fro, they can use Splashtop AR to assess the situation, figure out if it's a hardware or software issue. If it's just a cabling issue, they don't really need to go on site and they can direct end users easily through this. And it saves them a lot of visits and really improves the efficiency of technicians. All right, I'll go ahead and disconnect. Splashtop Enterprise also offers IP whitelisting that allows you to restrict the IP addresses that users can log in from. So in your my.console, if you go to management settings, you can manage the IP whitelists from here. And lastly, you can integrate with with a SIEM or Security Information and Event Management SIEM system like Sumo Logic or Splunk. So the Splashtop history and the session event logs also get continuously fed to your central logging system for collection and analysis. Splashtop Enterprise integrates with your single sign-on provider, so you can centralize authentication and credentials management and resulting in a more secure and efficient way to manage the Splashtop login. All right, that's all I had. Thanks so much.